What is a consumer notice? So, consumer notice is one of the first documents that you should go over with any agent. It is not a contract. It says it right in bold up at the top of the document, and it's an educational tool to be used to explain the types of agency in Pennsylvania. So, I'm going to briefly go over what each of those are. So, the first one in order of the consumer notice is a seller agent. Just as it implies, it is a person that represents a seller and listing their home. The opposite of that would be your buyer agent. A buyer agent represents a home buyer or buyers, helping them to buy a property. The next type of agent is a dual agent. So that's where a realtor will represent both the buyer and the seller in the same transaction. So for instance, say you attend an open house. In the yard, you see a sign that says "For sale by Jennifer Fields." You come into the property. I'm there hosting an open house. You say, "I love this house. I want to write an offer. I don't have an agent. Can you help me?" The answer is yes. In that situation, I would be representing both the buyer and the seller for the same property. This is perfectly legal in Pennsylvania. However, my team and my office does not practice dual agency. The reason being is that if I'm representing the seller, I know their needs, wants, desires, conditions for their property. I have the same information for the buyer. How can you really equally and fairly represent both of those parties? So we as a team, and like I said, as an office, have decided not to practice dual agency. Again, perfectly legal in Pennsylvania, so if you hear another agent talking about that, that is correct. The next type of agency is designated agency. So this is where any agent that you come across is designated by their brokerage to represent you. Any contract that you sign is actually with the broker. So for instance, if you were working with me, your either listing contract or buyer agency contract is really with Realty One Group Unlimited. It's my broker that designates me to represent you in any given transaction. And then the final one is a transaction licensee. So this is where neither party is represented. Let me say that again. Neither the buyer nor the seller is represented. The transaction licensee is there to basically explain the paperwork. They have no loyalty or confidentiality to either party. So there is no representation when you are using a transaction licensee. So that is the consumer notice in a nutshell. For any questions, feel free to send me a message. Thanks so much, and I hope you have a great day.